Evolution Real Estate Podcast, where we stay up with the ever-changing modern real estate market. And that is definitely an indicator with what's going on in today's world. So my name is Justus. I am a loan officer, so my job is to help get clients get a mortgage. In my previous life, I was taught at the community college. I taught psychology courses, and I have my master's in counseling and therapy. Found my way into the mortgage world, much of us in the real estate industry. We don't start here, we just end up here. And then I have my fellow co-host here, Scott. Tell everyone about you.
Hey, Justus. Hi, everybody. Say my name's Scott Ebel. I'm with Greater Midwest Realty. I'm a realtor. I'm the guy that helps you find a house, buy a house, or put the deal together. So it's always fun to share or kind of have our conversation and put it out there for people to join us and just kind of talk about what we do and what's going on in the market. So another fun week. So yeah,
for sure. And just like everything with the market, our podcast is ever changing. We always are thinking of better ways to tweak it. So we start out with one thing, we kind of keep evolving it as we go. If my camera looks a little different from the last time you've watched these, I forgot my stuff today, so I'm recording on my phone. Oops. But so one thing we want to really make sure we're doing in these podcasts is do a market update. So that way you're up with what's going on in the Twin Cities area. And then we, add some tidbits along the way. So Scott, maybe let's talk about, and we also like to add some personal stuff so you guys can get to know us too. But Scott, what's something interesting that's happened to you in the last week or two since our last episode?
Well, obviously, today's December 7th, 2021, and it's the 80th anniversary of the bombing and attack of Pearl Harbor. So being a veteran myself, I always feel that it's always right and just to pay tribute to those that made the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom, and to honor those that have done so. But it's I know there's a lot of celebrations and honoring those and all that happened. Boy, there really isn't too many of the service members left from World War II from that time frame. So I think some of those individuals are getting into their hundreds, and it's quite an honor to even see them. So actually, aren't you are going to have the honor and the privilege to be able to go to Pearl Harbor and Hawaii coming up, don't you?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll be there in like 2 weeks. Or
Okay.
2 or 3 weeks. I'm going there for my honeymoon. So
Okay.
we're kind of excited about that. I've never been. I'm definitely pasty white, so I'm probably gonna get burnt. So it's gonna be problematic.
You might have to hit the tanning booth before you go.
Yeah, oh God, yeah. So I'm not excited about that. And then the other thing that's happened to me recently is just like anyone who's watching this, if they're looking to buy a house, I'm also still adulting myself. So I bought my first washer and dryer set this past weekend, Black Friday, and installed it this weekend. And then I had to change the outlet for it because it was not the right one. And I ended up having to shut down the whole house in order to do it because I wasn't quite sure if I was going to get fried or not. So I felt like going to Hawaii and going on a honeymoon. So I just, decided to take out the whole house's power to change that outlet. So,
did you get her done?
We got her done. No house fires or anything, so we're all
Nice.
set. We've already used it. So
okay, so it works. It works.
Yeah, it works. Yeah. Well, and then all that good work I did, we had to reset it because then we found washer dryer stands on Facebook Marketplace, the new Craigslist, and then we had to take that all apart and somehow managed to squeeze those on there and then put them back into place. So yesterday was another fun laundry day, not doing actual laundry. But
okay, not folding
whatever.
Socks.
Yeah, no sock folding going on in my world. So yeah, stressful beyond belief trying to do that electrical stuff. And then I post something on Facebook about it, and then get a bunch of, hey, you should have called me. I could have done it. I'm like, oh God. Well, at least I know friends that can do it for next time I have something like that.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's not a next time, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So going on into our market update. So Scott, I know you wanted to go through this last week's here, 13 county Tri-City region dealio.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's pretty interesting as we get into the winter months here, and coming into the holidays, it's pretty normal that things start to slow down. But one thing I want to share is that in the past, and I'll probably just go ahead and share this on the screen here. So what I always like to reference is from the Minneapolis area realtors, and it's a weekly market update activity report, and some pretty dramatic things have happened over the last week as we go into the holiday season. And I always like to just read or share this of what it was in the past, and then what where it is now, and what it projected to be in the future. But just reading off of here that with showings and contract signings and closing sales remaining strong throughout the fall, experts are expecting an especially busy housing market in the winter. So it's no signs of it slowing down as buyers rush to beat rising rental prices and anticipate increases in mortgages. And I'm sure we'll touch on that a little bit here a little later on. Justus, I think you'll touch on that. But total existing home sales will top 6 million in 2021. That's just staggering, right? The highest level in 15 years. I mean, just take that in and realize what that means. 15 highest level, 6 million sales in 2021. So no signs of anything really slowing. And that's according to the National Association of Realtors. What's that?
When we think about last year and how tough it was to get a house, and buyers, so many buyers going out, and then this year there's even more being sold. It's just kind of crazy.
It really is, and reading this and seeing that's why I wanted to share it. It's hard to believe with the pandemic and all the things that are going on, and that many homes have been sold. But it certainly is predicted, or prices continue to increase in 2022, and we'll show that here in a little bit. But I think at a slower, as it says here, a little bit gentler rate compared to record sales in the past year. So it's pretty. One thing I want to point out on this document here, new listings decrease now, though, as we get into December 7th here. Look at the decrease in listings in just the past week. We're down to 496, 15.8% drop for listings in 1 week. That's a drop of 483. It's staggering to see. And then also pending sales, talking about that, we're currently now at 843 pending sales, and that also is a drop of 325 in just the last week. So a lot of the stuff that was contracted in September, October, I should say, November, have now closed and are off the books. So moving forward, the inventory decreased also. So new homes on the market is down by 15.7%. Just going through it, and these are the graphs, and just showing and illustrating year after year where it is, and you can kind of see from last week to this week of the drop there in the new listings. Moving on to the pending sales, look at here, Justus, what's going on and what I just talked about from last week to this week.
And I'm feeling on my end too. I mean, I had clients a bunch of clients looking, or clients applying and doing different stuff, and it's been like a ghost town around here. I've been working on my YouTube videos because
you gotta do more videos, I guess.
Gotta do more videos, something like that, because it's definitely, that drop is definitely felt in my world.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, and it's pretty normal. If you can see underneath 1 year ago, that dotted line indicates. So it happens every year. It's pretty cyclical and pretty normal. But when you actually chart it and graph it and look at it, it's just interesting to watch, and it's a pretty dramatic drop. There's no question. So really going through the rest of these items, inventory and homes, here's kind of the continued drop, as you can see, where we were at last year and where we're at today. Quite a bit of decrease or difference there as well. So who knows where it'll end up as you know, as you look at this, you wonder how could we have had, 6 million sales this year when inventory just continues to decrease. It's I don't know. It baffles me. So
Yeah.
pretty much everything else, median sales price has stayed where it's at. It's up a little bit, but that's kind of through October. Haven't got the numbers through December or November, December. So it's kind of, it does chart here through current activity. But that's pretty median sales prices has stayed pretty close to what it's been. Percentage of list price though has gone down, so there is some adjustment in that with the inventory, but yet people are actually getting a better buy when we're making offers. So seeing some of that change. So here's your months of supply. That's always another indicator that we look at. And right now currently we're at 1.2, and that really hasn't changed. And we'll see what it does next time we have a look at this and where we end up, if it's actually going to dip down below 1 month of supply or not. So
Oh man,
to see.
And look how low that is to the historical month supply. I mean, that's insane.
It is amazing. So talking about that and really kind of what's coming up, I know that the Fed chair has been pretty active lately, and speaking, what have you been seeing with Powell and what he's latest updates or what he's been saying?
So Powell seems to be pretty kind of popular, and his words seem to hold a lot of weight. And I know if there's any younger people, Weeble millennial types, you'll see it in your stocks that you're watching. Anytime he talks, like those stocks move. It kind of works the same in the bonds. So the bonds affecting mortgage interest rate pricing. So he's talking about tapering the amount of buybacks of these loans. So essentially the Fed has been artificially keeping home interest rates low by buying up these mortgages every month, about 30 billion a month, or sorry, taper to 30 billion a month in the December meeting. And him tapering is really going to potentially rise these interest rates, which they're already predicting to go up. The indicators are saying near 4 at the end of last year. Now they said that beginning before COVID happened, that this would happen. Then obviously COVID reversed that whole trend. So it's kind of like we're going back to where we were before COVID. So it makes you wonder if they're going to think this new variant isn't going to do as much, especially if the Fed is stopping this buyback and then this artificial pressure to keep interest rates low continues to rise. But then we couple that with higher prices of homes, and now the whole new, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac limits. So if you didn't catch last week's episode, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have increased their limits on what's considered kind of like your everyday person normal loan to 600 and let's see, where is it? $647,200, which is almost $1,000 increase from 2021. So that just kind of tells you where home prices are going. It probably has to do with the charts we just looked at with availability and whatnot.
Yeah. I think you said 1,000. Is it 100,000 or 1,000?
Sorry, 100,000. Yeah, increase of add another zero to that.
Add another zero. I mean, 1,000 is no big deal, but it's $100,000 increase in 1 year.
In 1 year.
In 1 year. Wow.
Yeah. So, and then that's just single family. So, you obviously have duplexes, triplexes, and quadplexes on there. I mean, a quadplex, $1.245 million. And there are certain programs you can get something like that with 5% down. Granted, someone would have to qualify with that, but it's kind of insane. It's interesting, with the limits that are changing, and then we live in an interesting time right now because we're at all-time interest rate lows, even where we're at now, and it's going to be increasing, but it's still all-time lows. But the home prices are more expensive than they've ever been. Inventory is as low as it's ever been.
Right.
Home building prices are as expensive as it's ever been. and we're coming out of coronavirus, worldwide pandemic we haven't experienced in the real estate market. So like it, I mean, we're just in a weird spot.
Evolution, real estate, evolution.
Yeah. Yeah, it always
Ever
changes. Right?
changing, always
Yeah.
changing. And I think, yeah, where's it going to go? We talked about in our last podcast as far as what it means and what it's, and I guess that's why we do this, to track and chart and really look and keep tabs on what it's doing. It'll be interesting, even a year from now, as we continue to do this, to see, how different the reporting or what we're talking about, really what that conversation looks like. Always fun. So
yeah, and I mean obviously you've been doing this longer than I have, and you've even said like, I haven't seen this before. Like we're just in unprecedented times, as cliche as that statement is.
Right. No, we really are. And you're right. I not that I mean, I can't remember what I had for breakfast yesterday, but sometimes.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, no, when you really look at the market in large, I've never seen this, in the time that I've been doing this. And yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. So, and where we're going to go, we'll continue to update and bring it forward and try and share a perspective of what's going on. So
yeah, for sure. And then obviously just retouching on what we did last episode, keep looking. If you're in the market, connect with Scott, connect with me, keep looking in the market, because the winter time frame, while your inventory might be low, and it's again all-time lows, your competition is also going to be lower, and potentially interest rates could stable out at this time. They tend to rise once the spring market hits, in March and April. So you might be able to find yourself a good deal if you just kind of keep at it.
Well, and that's just it. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen with interest rates. They're talking about raising them, like you had mentioned. So whether or not they actually do, depending on inflation, as that progresses. But with inventory right now, I think as far as appreciation, we're still going to see probably a 2% appreciation in homes for the foreseeable future. So it still is a good time to buy. There's no question about it, especially if you're going to live there, versus renting or whatever. So, and you're right, Justus, when the holidays come around, less people are out there, so less competition, and you're able to, to get into a place and keep going. So no question.
Yeah, and you made a good point, because all indicators say that, home prices will still be able to appreciate. And the way rent costs are right now, you're still better off buying if you find a way to do it, especially, little hacks where you get a roommate and then they pay half your mortgage, and all of a sudden you're paying less than you would with rent. And now you own a home that's appreciating in value.
Right. So,
yeah.
And there's other principles too, right? Higher and better use, you get the tax benefits. There's definite advantage to home ownership. And if there's a will, there's a way.
Yep.
You can always figure out a way to offset that debt service, like you say, taking on a roommate. I remember when I bought my first house, not to talk about that, but I didn't, back then, I think the payment was $543 a month. And I didn't know how I was going to make the payment. Right? I did not know how I was going to make the payment. And I did exactly what you just talked about. It just reminded me that I got a roommate, and it worked out, and and they were happy because they had decreased rental rate, and they had a nice place to live, and it helped me out and got me through the time. So sometimes whatever it takes to just buy some time, get some time on your side, and keep going, and it's it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
I think I stayed in that house for I think 9 years, which is obviously longer than the normal, but I ended up selling it. And if I remember correctly, I made about over $95,000 on that property or something.
Oh, and back then that had to be a lot.
Well, it was a home run. But yeah. I did a lot of work, to it, and what have you. And so it was a starting point. So it was a lot of fun.
So needless to say, you weren't scared to turn off the power to switch an outlet.
No.
Yeah,
You're
full circle conversation
We
here.
won't talk
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, full circle. Yeah.
Oh, we
Anything
turn
else
off
to
the
add?
power every once in a while.
Yeah, you do what you got to do, right?
You gotta do what you gotta do. That's funny.
Anything else to add to this
No,
episode?
no, just like we started off saying, just think about those service members and what today really means, and to honor those that have served and really paid the ultimate sacrifice. So yeah, but no, thank you for everyone for watching, and Justus, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure talking with you and doing this with you. So
yeah, and if you found anything useful, hit that like button. Consider subscribing, because we're going to keep trying to do this as much as we can. But otherwise, thanks for watching and listening to the Evolution Real Estate Podcast, where the evolution never stops. Open that up a little bit, get a little bit more bright.
you're beautiful.
The problem with, yeah, thank you. Yeah.